What unfolded recently on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert shocked both the studio audience and millions of fans worldwide, as none other than Mark Wahlberg unexpectedly walked off the stage in the middle of a live recording. Known for his tough guy persona on screen, but usually calm and composed demeanor off screen, Mark Wahlberg's sudden reaction stunned everyone. The atmosphere turned tense when Colbert jokingly remarked about Mark's controversial past, bringing up his teenage years and his brushes with the law. At first, Mark gave a tight-lipped smile, clearly uncomfortable but trying to maintain his cool. But as Colbert continued to press, making light of Mark's well-publicized youthful mistakes, the actor's expression shifted dramatically. His eyes darkened, his jaw clenched, and the easy banter turned into what felt like a personal attack. It was clear to the audience that something was brewing beneath Mark's tough exterior, and that he was no longer willing to play along with the host's provocative humor. The conversation started pleasantly enough. They talked about Mark's fitness routine, his upcoming film projects, and even joked about his early days as a rapper in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Mark laughed along, sharing funny stories about his grueling 4 a.m. workouts and strict daily schedule. The crowd was eating it up, cheering every time Mark flexed his humorous side. However, the mood began to shift when Colbert veered into uncomfortable territory. Bringing up Mark's past legal troubles, a subject Wahlberg rarely discusses publicly anymore, Colbert quipped that Mark's life felt like the ultimate Hollywood redemption arc, going from convicted troublemaker to devout family man and businessman. With a smirk that didn't sit well with Wahlberg, Mark's smile faded slightly, and though he chuckled weakly, the discomfort was visible. But Colbert didn't stop. He pushed the angle further, suggesting that Mark's bad boy image is what kept his tough guy roles so believable. Mark took a slow breath, leaned back in his chair, and quietly replied, "Man, I thought we weren't going there tonight." The audience let out a nervous laugh, unsure whether it was part of the act or something real beginning to unfold. But Colbert, sensing the tension, tried to mask it with more humor, saying, "Come on, Mark. You know we gotta cover the full story. The fans want to know everything." At this, Mark visibly stiffened, his expression turning colder. He said, "That was 30 years ago, Stephen. I've done my time. I've changed. I'm not here to keep apologizing for who I was when I was 16. His voice, though calm, carried an unmistakable edge. The studio fell into an awkward silence for a moment as Colbert, perhaps realizing he'd crossed a line, awkwardly sipped from his mug, but then added, "Hey, no offense, buddy. We're just having fun here. Loosen up your Mark Wahlberg." After all, this attempt at humor didn't land. It was clear by now that Mark was seething just under the surface. He crossed his arms tightly, his gaze fixed directly on Colbert, no longer amused. "You think it's funny to make light of someone's real mistakes? I've worked my ass off to fix my life, make a real difference, raise a family, build businesses, help communities. And you want to crack jokes about me being a criminal kid?" Mark said this slowly but firmly, his voice dropping deeper with intensity. The audience was now dead silent, sensing this wasn't an act. Colbert, surprised by the seriousness of Mark's response, tried once again to deflect, saying, "It's all part of the story, man. People like a comeback." But that only made things worse. Mark shook his head, leaned forward, and said sharply, "You don't know me like that. You don't get to decide my story, Stephen." The tension was now unbearable, with crew members backstage beginning to shuffle nervously. What happened next took everyone by surprise. Mark stood up abruptly, unhooked his mic, and said loud enough for the room to hear, "You know what? I'm done here." The crowd gasped audibly. Stephen, stunned, called out, "Hey Mark, come on, sit down. Let's finish this properly." But Mark waved him off, saying, "No, man, you crossed the line. I don't come here to be disrespected. I thought this was going to be fun, but clearly I was wrong." He gave the audience a brief, polite nod and walked off stage without looking back. The cameras kept rolling for a few seconds, capturing Stephen Colbert sitting speechless at his desk, clearly unsure of how to recover the show's mood. The control room quickly cut to commercials, leaving both the live audience and the viewers at home in utter confusion about what had just happened. Asterisk. Backstage sources revealed that Mark was visibly angry as he exited the studio. According to crew members, he muttered, "Never again,"
at this show,
as his team hurried to escort him out. Meanwhile, Colbert, clearly rattled, was seen conferring with producers, wondering if the segment could be salvaged or if they should scrap it entirely. The producers were reportedly in a frenzy, discussing legal and public relations strategies for dealing with the inevitable fallout. Within minutes, news of the altercation spread like wildfire across social media platforms. #Wahlberg and #Colbert Clash started trending on Twitter and Instagram, with thousands of fans expressing shock, curiosity, and disappointment in equal measure. While some defended Colbert's humor as his usual style, many sympathized with Wahlberg, agreeing that his past was being unfairly dredged up just for laughs. Asterisk. As the online storm grew, statements began to emerge from both camps. Mark Wahlberg's publicist issued a brief comment saying Mark came on the show to promote his new film and discuss positive things in his life. Unfortunately, the direction of the interview was disrespectful and unprofessional, which led to his decision to leave. Meanwhile, Stephen Colbert's team released their own statement, claiming, "Stephen's interviews are always meant to entertain and explore a guest's full journey. There was no intent to offend or upset Mr. Wahlberg. These competing narratives only fueled the debate." Fans argued fiercely in comment sections, with hashtags like #TeamMark and #TeamColbert dividing opinion. Celebrities also chimed in, some supporting Mark's right to draw boundaries, others suggesting that public figures should expect tough questions in the media spotlight. Asterisk. Industry insiders began speculating whether this dramatic exit could impact Mark Wahlberg's upcoming film promotions. Reports suggested that several talk show appearances were either postponed or under reconsideration as his team scrambled to control the narrative. There was even talk of potential legal action, though. Neither side confirmed this officially. Meanwhile, The Late Show faced its own problems. Viewership numbers for the controversial episodes surged as clips and audience-recorded videos leaked online. But the show's reputation for handling sensitive topics humorously was now under scrutiny. Some longtime viewers expressed disappointment in Colbert's approach, suggesting he had let his wit cross the line into disrespect. Others felt it was all just exaggerated celebrity drama blown out of proportion by the media. Asterisk. Interestingly, rumors began circulating that this entire incident might have been a staged publicity stunt to generate buzz for both Wahlberg's film and Colbert's show. However, insiders close to the production quickly denied these claims, insisting that the confrontation was completely unplanned and real. Those who witnessed the backstage chaos confirmed that Wahlberg's anger was genuine, and that producers were caught totally off guard. Media analysts commented that whether staged or not, the incident had certainly succeeded in grabbing public attention, putting both Wahlberg and Colbert at the center of the entertainment world's hottest conversation. Meanwhile, talk of reconciliation began to surface, with reports suggesting that both teams were quietly working to arrange a private meeting to ease tensions and possibly clear the air publicly. Asterisk. As days passed, the media circus around the incident showed no signs of slowing down. Fans eagerly awaited to see if Mark Wahlberg or Stephen Colbert would personally address the controversy in detail. Would Mark return to the show for a surprise makeup segment? Would Colbert issue a direct on-air apology? Neither camp confirmed any plans, leaving the public to speculate endlessly. For now, what remains certain is that this explosive encounter has etched itself into late-night television history. A rare moment where celebrity pride, personal history, and the pressures of live TV collided spectacularly. Regardless of future developments, the showdown between Mark Wahlberg and Stephen Colbert will be remembered as a turning point that blurred the lines between entertainment and real emotion. Leaving fans to wonder just how much of what they see on TV is truly spontaneous and unscripted.